Well, was our universe created by a God or not? Hugh Montefiore's book says yes, and takes a fresh look at natural theology, which, as far as I understand it, is the argument that says that you can perceive the existence of God directly from the evidence of nature, and that, of course, includes scientific evidence. Hugh Montefiore, couldn't it be argued that you are, in fact, trespassing on other people's patch?
Well, yes, you could argue anything, but I don't really see why we shouldn't reflect on what the scientists have said. I think people mix up science with the philosophy of science, that is, its meaning and interpretation. I really think anyone can have a go at that. I certainly have, and will continue to do so. I don't want to prove from the natural sciences that God exists. That I don't think can be done. But I do think we can now see that there's a high probability that this world is not a random occurrence. And that seems to me to say a very great deal.
Right. Herman Bondi, what do you actually feel about that? Because do you feel in any sense it's a misuse of science?
No, I wouldn't call it a misuse, and I was very much impressed by the book for its erudition and for its honesty. But I do think that the argument of this very good book leaves me stone cold. Not because I'm short of awe, not because I'm short of wonder. I feel our universe is wonderful and something to be awestruck by. What worries me is that this book will be taken by many people to prove Christianity, or at least to make it probable, or to prove or to make probable some other religion in which there is a revelation which makes people say, I know God's will. And that, to me, is a great source of evil.
No, well, I must come back here and say that all that you can do from natural theology is show the hunger in men and women's hearts for God's personal self-disclosure, which I believe that he has given us. And although terrible things have been done in the name of religion, I will agree with you. I also think that the most wonderful things have been done, and I'm always interested that people like you only mention the terrible things.
Not only.
Right. Earlier on, Paul Davis, I described you as Hugh Montefiore's scientific champion, and presumably you've got a considerable amount of sympathy with Hugh. Would you like to explain that a bit further?
Yes, perhaps I could summarize my own position before I begin.
Absolutely.
As being perhaps best described as an awestruck agnostic, which is to say that through my scientific investigations, I have become more and more impressed with the incredibly, stupendously intricate nature of the cosmos as we come to understand the universe in greater and greater detail. So it seems more and more remarkable that things have been arranged such that, in its broadest sense, the universe is self-aware. That is, that it permits the existence of intelligent observers, such as ourselves. And it seems to me that this is not something which is inevitable, that the world could have been arranged differently, and that the fact that things have been arranged so that we can exist and observe the world, and that, moreover, our existence seems to depend very delicately upon the organization of the cosmos and the nature of the laws of physics. The fact that that is so seems to me a puzzle, and a puzzle that deserves an explanation. In other words, I would like to know why the world is the way it is. I can't accept it as a brute fact. I would like some sort of explanation.
Right. Freddie Eyre, I imagine that as far as you're concerned, we've been talking a whole lot of rubbish so far. I'd like to hear your view on the subject.
I don't think we've been talking rubbish. I think there's been a lot of bad logic. But that's not quite the same thing. What the last argument comes to is saying the world is arranged as it is, therefore somebody arranged it. Now, this is a very poor argument because it could apply to however the world was arranged. I mean, all that you have said, and all that I'm afraid the Bishop has said in the book, which I also admired very much. I thought it was a very honest book and a very erudite book, I mean, to say so. Nevertheless, all he was saying was, there are these causes, there are these effects, and had the causes been different, the effects would have been different. Nobody's going to dispute this. What is totally lacking is any justification for the assumption that the world as it is was designed, and had the world been different, it would not have been designed. And in fact, saying it's all designed by God is not an explanation of anything at all. You're just saying, here I give up, but because, and in fact, President has admitted this, so science goes no further, therefore we're going to bring old Nobu Daddy, to make us all feel cheerful. That won't do.
The reason why I'm interested in the natural sciences here is that so often you hear people saying the natural sciences have disproved God, or there's no reasonable basis for believing in God. I'm afraid Freddie Ayer's backing a loser here. I mean, it could just be a brute fact that human beings have evolved with their amazing capacities for relationship and for their experience of God is phony. It could just be true. It could be true that our intimations of morality have no ultimate sanction, that our experience of what is true and good and beautiful isn't a window into reality. But the simplest explanation of the lot, the simplest explanation in logic, is that there is a creator.